Hey guys, I've been working on filling up my raised beds that I have here up by the polytunnel. So I've been doing kind of a Hugelkultur method where I'm just throwing everything and anything in the bottom that's biodegradable. I'm throwing lots of old pots of soil and lots of cardboard and rotting sticks and logs, all kinds of garden debris. My friend Lori also told me to come pick up her bags of garden debris as she was cleaning out her garden. So I have lots of different things, and I'm not worried about seeds, guys. If something comes up, I can easily pull it. I'm out here every day. Nothing will get too out of control if some seeds from old flowers grow. I even have a banana peel back there. And of course in the spring I'll have some of my fresh compost I can add in. But for now I am doing, for the bottom layer, a very Hugelkultur method. And I figure anything that I have growing still in my bins, today I'm gonna unload those, and anything that's nice can either be planted back in a little bit of soil in here or in a pot like I've done with these marigolds. They weren't quite finished and the bees were really enjoying them. So when I dumped those containers, I did save the marigolds for the bees, and plus it looks nice. It really still looks pretty. But today I've decided the zucchini is really going over. It's got lots of powdery mildew, and I've been watching a very tiny zucchini somewhere in here. Let me see, but it really hasn't been growing, which tells me it's no longer zucchini season, and for me to wait any longer is kind of a waste of time. I want all this stuff to get together and start breaking down. And of course there's really good soil in these totes, which I used most of my own compost for. So I'm going to be dumping out probably the remaining totes, and then I'm going to be topping it with some soil that I picked up from Lowe's. Not a lot, just about 6 bags, and I'm just going to let it all mingle. And I'm going to plant as much as I can in here. I don't mind that the soil level is going to drop, or even that it's only going to be about halfway full. I think that offers some nice protection for winter crops from really cutting winds. But let me get started. I'm going to finish dumping out some of these things. As you can see, I have some broccoli planted already at this end, and I had topped it off with some store-bought soil, so hopefully those will be happy there. But I was growing those sprouts, which I think I showed you in the last video I put up, and already by putting them in there they look a lot happier. So these are the bags of soil I got, and I got some compost and manure, just a couple bags spread out, make it extra rich to start out. But I like these 1 cubic foot bags. My really good soil will come from my own compost bins in the spring, and also Whole Foods has a really nice compost that I pick up a couple bags every time I go. If it's available, I'll pick up a couple bags at a time, and I think it is also a 1 cubic foot bag. So little by little I'm going to build these beds, and you know, we'll get them in order, and hopefully we'll get a lot of food out of them. I always have a lot of trouble with cabbages. I've never really had any luck growing them. So as I pull this out of here, I'm just going to throw it right back down in there, and it's going to break down and be part of the Hugelkultur soil. It's just not worth saving. I will show you though, however, I think this is a Napa cabbage down here, and it is doing really well. It seems more pest resistant, although it does show some pest damage. It just seems to be doing a lot better in my climate and my soil. So maybe this is the kind of cabbage I'll continue to grow in the future. And these are beets. If they're not ready, I will try to transplant them back into some soil or a pot. However, you know, I'm not sure transplanting beets is a good idea. I'm only doing it because I want to get this bed set up. Here are the beets and the cabbage that I removed from the tub, and I'm going to plant those back in. I'll just make sure I have enough soil around the roots. This is making tubers, as you can see. This might even be a cylindrical beet, but aren't those stems gorgeous? They are just gorgeous. They're a beautiful jewel tone red. So definitely worth planting back in, seeing if they can size up. And as you can see, my compost looks pretty good. I'm sure a lot of the nutrients have been used up, but that is my homemade compost, and that'll be a good bulk of this bed, because in each of these raised garden beds I had about 4 of those. So that's a nice basis for my Hugelkultur base. And so I'm feeling pretty good. This is a real mix of things. It's almost like a stew when you're doing Hugelkultur. You just throw everything and anything in that's going to break down. And just like that, we have our fall winter garden beds all set up. So I have all my bags of soil, mulch, and a little bit of the cow manure and compost. Actually, I don't know if it's cow manure. It's just manure and compost from the store in a bag. But my beets will have to bounce back, I hope. And I cut my big cabbage back. I took off some of the bigger leaves. And I know that if it bounces back, the center leaves will grow pretty exponentially. I think this is a nice soil I used. And like I said, these pots will be removed when the time comes. But I put in more of my broccoli seedlings over here and over here as well. And then I did have some of the other cabbage starts for the good cabbage, so I added those in, and we'll see how they do. They weren't doing very well. I had them in a little pot, so I'm excited to see how they do planted. And then I have my beautiful chrysanthemum over here. I gave it a water, so that's going to bloom soon. But look, guys, my Hugelkultur bed has now been transformed into my fall winter beds, and I couldn't be more delighted. Of course, I know it's probably going to reduce by half, but you know, this is a good start, and each time I plant, I'll add more bags in and more layers of soil and mulch, and little by little it'll build up. But I really don't mind that it's a lower soil level, because this is going to protect it from some of the winds. It'll just give a little more protection. So guys, that is it. The raised garden beds are officially set up, and hopefully I'll get some produce out of it. If I don't, I'm sure by next spring it'll be all mixed up and broken down. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you're having fun in your fall gardens, guys. I'd really love to get some broccoli, but we do have a lot of pests around here, so we'll see who gets it, whether they get it or I get it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.